Hello, and on the gaming table today, we're taking a look at the Battle of the Sabis, a Strength and Honor game, although this is the Oops version. I made a mistake here when I was setting this up. Here you can see the table as I set it up, following the scenario from the Strength and Honor core rulebook. But the thing I did was I misread some of the instructions for the setup, and the Belgians on the left here, the Belgian tribes, are too far away from the Romans here on the hill. They should have been much, much closer. So I'm actually redoing this battle, and I'll put another video up about that one later. But anyway, the basic situation here, Caesar is here with some of his legions. They were coming into the area to subdue the local tribes. Some of them didn't like that, and they essentially tried to ambush him here across the Sabis River. So Caesar's troops are a little bit disorganized as they're trying to build a camp up on the hill. The red markers here on 4 of the units are disordered markers. So some of the Roman units start disordered, and then we take play from here and see how it goes. So, the command boards you can see there, Caesar and the Belgian commander here, neither of them did great for their points on their command boards, but we'll just see how this plays out today. Okay, so first up here, the Belgians took the first turn, managed to get everything across the river. Then the Romans here trying to remove their disordered markers. It's kind of like if you fail any of these rolls, it's going to give you a bunch of problems. But fortunately for the Romans, they managed to get all of them off this turn. After that, some moving forward here from the Belgians, getting up towards the hill. This is where, because it's too far away, it gave the Romans too much advantage of getting organized at the top of the hill. They should have been in trouble earlier because of this, but we'll see how it goes in the replay. Here are the Belgian skirmishers moving up on the sides. I kept all the skirmishers here as formed units, and the reason for that is because I'm using the rules from the Conquest supplement, and so defending units on hills and skirmishes work a little bit differently, and also maneuver tests work a little bit differently under those new Conquest supplement rules. Here, the Romans had some reinforcements come on this turn, so that's a setback card for the Belgians for that happening. Then here, trying to move up and get to grips with the Romans. Romans decide to basically just kind of move down and start to poke maybe at this first unit here. Caesar is in that unit that's just gone into combat. Here, there was a grind result, and so got pushed back on both sides. Both sides passed their discipline test. So, okay, the Belgians here trying to set up a charge here. They had to make a maneuver check to get through that gap there, but they made it okay. Romans here coming back down the hill towards them. Failed to check there somewhere along the line. That's why play passed over to the Belgians again. Now here also I was double checking some rules in Conquest because I was getting a bit confused about what happens when you have a defending unit on a hill cancelling a pushback result, and I was doing that wrong a little bit here, so more oops in this version. We'll try it again later and see how it goes. The tribes getting pushed back here, the warband suffering a little bit from the experienced Roman legions. A little bit of pushing and shoving, skirmishers getting driven back there. Actually, I think there was an extra setback card that shouldn't have been there because skirmishers don't take a setback card from normal pushback, only if they're routed. Here, just checking a couple of things again. The Romans getting pushed back there. Warbands following up. They want to try and keep the pressure on here. The 2 warbands on the right here, or the bottom of the screen, are more experienced. And so they're a bit better at pushing forwards, as you just saw, smashing through the Roman line there. But at this stage, the Romans have only picked up a couple of setback cards, so they're actually in a pretty good position overall. Figuring out the combat factors, just figuring out where the fights are that are going to be advantageous. Charge in there, moving up the reserves. Skirmishers get pushed back there. That was from shooting activation, actually. So the yes, and so oh no, it was a combat activation. Yes, and so they got disordered there. Here, some more pushing and shoving, but there was quite a lot of defended combat results here. So even though occasionally the Belgian tribes here managed to get a few things going their way in terms of the initial result, the defense dice from the Romans sometimes cancelled it out. Here, push back. There's a retiring unit there, which is why it got turned around and everything got disordered. Lots more setback cards. So you can see here the Belgians are really suffering at the moment. They've got about 8 or 9 setback cards there. The Romans are only on 2. More going on here as things get pushed back. You can see also that the warbands here have spent quite a few of their command points at this stage, trying to get results. Sometimes it's not going their way. Their general there, attached to his warbands, pushing through past the camp there, driving the Romans. And here on this terrain is down the hill. This hill, looking at historically after this, I looked at the battle a bit more. This hill should just kind of be continually sloping up towards the right-hand side of the table. So there shouldn't be a downhill on the back side there, I don't think. Anyway, here, the warband's starting to suffer here. The weight of the Romans is finally starting to tell. You can see the disordered markers in a few places in the middle there. They managed to recover some disorder from other places, but one of their warbands, kind of second from the top there, was actually facing the wrong way. That doesn't help them. Tried to reorder them. That didn't work. Okay, we've got a routed skirmisher there. Okay, another disordered one here. Stuff charging down the hill. Okay, trying to, kind of wrap things up here. The warband's in a lot of trouble here. The Romans seem to be carrying the day fairly easily. And then they called Homunculus Est. It didn't actually come out. I think the total there was, 13 as it shows on the dice. So that meant the tribes were now fatigued. But not broken at this stage, although not far away from it. The Romans have only got 5 setback cards, now 6. Probably another couple of rounds here against the warbands, and they'll break. And that's pretty much what happened here. The Romans just kind of pushed through, called Homunculus Est in the coming turn after a couple more setback cards, and a disaster card as a couple of things routed. And that was pretty much the battle. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon in the next version.